Hey, what's up everybody? This is Jumpin here. This is going to be a Mass Effect 3 gameplay commentary. Today I'm going to be using the Batarian soldier, another one of the new characters, but once again he's extremely good. You can do some crazy stuff with this guy. Let's go ahead and get into his powers. His main power is going to be called Ballistic Blades. Okay, when I went for the first one, it's Cone Spread. I highly recommend that. You can pick damage or this, but Cone Spread is going to increase the radius of it. For the second option, you're going to have range and recharge speed. Now, this is the first time I ever used them, so I went for recharge speed. Range might be good. I don't really know. It's really up to you guys, but I kind of like the recharge speed. Now, the final one is very important, and this is the one you have to take. It's exploding blades. This shit is so broken. Yeah, like, that's what it is. And I know I say broken a lot for all the people who always say that. But, yeah, I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player, so what do you expect? But anyway, alright, for the grenades, I just go for damage, but you could go for max grenades. You don't need the radius from the first one, but it's up to you. If you want 3 grenades or if you want the damage. I like the damage. And then for the final one, you could go armor damage. That would help against atlases, brutes, banshees, all that kind of good stuff. But I went for shrapnel and radius. For his Batarian Forcer, I just go for power damage, damage capacity, power damage, pretty obvious. And then for fitness, I like just all shields. Now you could go for his some melee, because he is a melee beast. If you wanted to run around with blade armor and just melee, but it's just the way you want to play with him. All right, so I'm gonna be using a shotgun. Highly recommend you use a shotgun with this guy. There's a lot of good ones you can use, but like I really highly recommend a shotgun. This guy is a shotgun. Batarians in general are kind of shotgun. For my amps, I'm gonna be using. And that was an epic fail right there with the SMG amp. Alright, so I'm going to be using Shotgun Amp 3, Shield Booster 3, and I do also recommend a Drone Modular if you're going to run around with shotguns. And I think I'm going to be using Syrian ammo. Now, if you looked, I was level 20 for the setup video, but in this video I'm level 19. This is the game right before I leveled up to 20. So I'm not gonna have the blade armor yet, and I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of it, but it's okay, I guess. Like, it's not that bad. I've been playing with it a little bit. Now, like I was saying though, like the Batarians in general are really a shotgun wielding character, like in the game. Like you really need to, if you're gonna try these guys out, I've really figured out. Really, my buddy was telling me, hey, have you tried a shotgun on the Batarians yet? And I was like, no, not yet. He was like, yeah, these guys are meant to be shotgun guys. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, they're really good with a shotgun. I'm like, all right, let me try it out. And then, when I started playing with the soldier, I realized, oh my god, he's right. This ballistic blade move is extremely good. Definitely, like, I don't know, it's just a really ridiculous power in the game. Very powerful, and the thing that's gonna make it super like ridiculous and broken, guys. I will say that all the time. I'm just sorry. Is that, like, okay, what you do is this, because of the exploding blades, you want to get in a very close range. That's one reason the shotgun is, like, very necessary. Is 'cause this is a very close range shotgun-like power. I mean, when you look at it, it's a spread power, so the closer you are, the more likely you are to hit them with multiple blades. And when you hit them, like, when you hit them, like, with a shit ton of the blades, what's going to happen is that, they're going to explode. And when they explode, they'll instantly pretty much kill the enemy. That's just really what happens. Like, now, you might be wondering, like, the other thing, though, is that, like, because of the widespread from cone spread, which I do highly recommend, because after using it, I really like it. Like, right here, you'll see, like, this is going to be kind of ridiculous. This is actually pretty awesome. Like, because, look, boom, the exploding blades go off, and then, like, they all just blow up. It's really ridiculous. You're going to see some really crazy feeds from this ballistic blade this game. I'm talking about, like, quad feeds, triple feeds, all that kind of good stuff. This guy is really just the master of kill feeds. That's just what he does. Like, if you rush around and you're getting closer with this ballistic blade stuff, you can really get some crazy feeds. Now, here's the thing, though, is that one of the things about this power, it's kind of a downside to this character, is that when it comes down to getting a lot of experience, or getting a lot of points, whatever you want to call it, he's actually not that good, only because, and you'll see this in this game, I'm gonna get 75 kills very quickly, I mean, extremely quickly in this game. And, you know, but after I get the 75 kills, you know, maybe a couple minutes later, I'm going to finally get 25 shotgun kills. I mean, that's literally how little shotgun kills I was getting compared to just, look, the ballistic blades just getting me all my kills, and the inferno nades and stuff. And since those don't actually count towards nothing, like those aren't, I mean, they are powers, but they're not like a tech power or bionic power. You're not going to get the medals, and medals is actually the way that you will, you know, getting a lot of medals is actually the best way to get a lot of experience for you and all your teammates and stuff. Anyway, yeah, so like a couple of the strategies with this guy, like I said, is just to pretty much rush around, maybe use the adrenaline equipment so you can run faster, or the shield booster, because you definitely want max fitness just so you can stay alive. And then the main thing is that, you know, if you can get a group of enemies together, and when the ballistic blade blows up, it will definitely kill them all. The other thing it will do, which is kind of like ridiculous, is that, you know, because of it's so widespread, if you run into a room, you can actually hit all the enemies with the ballistic blade. Like let's say each of them gets hit with like 1 or 2 blades. When they explode, I think they all still do the 500 damage. So if it stacks, let's say 4 enemies gets hit by ballistic blades, and then they all explode at the same time. You know, boom, they're all exploding into 500 something damage. And if that stacks, and that's like 2,000 something damage in the entire room, and yeah, everything dies. Like right there, you can see like clearly both enemies got hit by the ballistic blades, and both enemies blew up from the ballistic blades. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like I said, the way you really want to play with this guy is keep him at a close range. And then the Inferno nades are kind of necessary. I do believe they're really good against bosses. You know, they're really, I don't know, they're just really good in general. But the main thing I really like about the Inferno nades compared to other nades is that, you know, they have like DPS. All their nades really don't have any type of DPS like the Inferno nades do. And right here is a good example. You know, like I ran down there, hit him with an Inferno nade, and then I shot the ballistic blade, and yeah, now I'm just getting massive kill feeds. You know. And, you know, what happened right there actually was that, you know, because they were all grouped together, the ballistic blade blew up, and all the enemies down in that room took a mass amount of damage. But they all had a little bit of health left, and because they had a little bit of health left, the Inferno nade killed them all. But it still got me like a crazy kill feed right there. It's just what it does. I mean, if you can hit enemies like that, you know, you're gonna. This guy's just a lot of fun to. Honestly, he's just a lot of fun to use. And it was very surprising to me, like him and the other Batarian, because you know, the Batarian Sentinel. Because like when I got him, I didn't really think much of him. I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. I'll try him out. You know, I didn't go into it really expecting that much out of them. I thought they were going to be probably probably the worst set of the new characters, especially the soldier. But after playing with them, and after, like, you know, kind of just like learning, like, you know, how they're meant to be played, like it's a blast, man. It's just so much fun. Like these guys, the soldier. Now, I don't want to say this, but in a lot of ways, this Batarian soldiers might be the best soldier. It's a very close race between him and the Turian. I guess it really just depends on how you feel about it, and how you play with the Turian. Because, like, you know, everybody, if you watch my Turian soldier gameplays, you might know that I like to, you know, run around with, like, with my Batarian soldier, I like to run around with the Hornet SMG and just, like, you know, mow them down and rape them and do all that kind of, use concussive shot and stuff. And this guy's just fun because I really like shotguns in general. And right there, that was a big mistake. That kind of happens. Like, you know, when you rush around a lot, you will randomly run into grenades sometimes. You know, like really random nades too. Like right there, perfect example of a random nade. Mainly because, you know, freaking why was it in the middle of nowhere? Like, you know, like we were both up top and someone threw the nade and like it bounced all the way to the middle of nowhere. It makes no sense. But anyway, you know, here's one tip for you. If you're gonna try to use grenades in general, one thing you guys might not know is that the new map Hydra, actually you can get 2 nades out the box. So normally, like this guy, I like this guy a lot on Hydra, just because every time I go to a box I can get 2 nades and then start chucking them at the enemies. You know, because the nades really will help you. You know, if you find a group of, you know, a big group of enemies at all, you should definitely run up and hit him with the nade, and then start going to town. Like this is a good example right here. Like just having them grouped up like that is great because you're gonna definitely get some awesome kill feeds and stuff. This guy really honestly like one thing about this guy though is that he's, in my opinion, I don't really find him to be that useful against like the biggest enemies in the game. Now, he can do a lot of damage. Once they get down there in armor, he can do damage with the Inferno Nades. The Ballistic Blade will do a lot of damage to the Atlas and stuff, Banshees and stuff, and Brutes. But the thing is that trying to take this thing on by yourself without any help from a teammate is pretty annoying. I do have to admit, like, that is one thing I wanted to bring up. That's one of the, to me, this guy is definitely like the ultimate infiltrate killer. Like he can run into the room of all the normal enemies and just blow them all up, blow them to hell, and it's so much fun to do that. Like I said, but by the end of the game, you're not, you'll have 75 kills, but you won't have more likely 75 shotgun kills or something like that. It just really won't happen for you too much with this guy, even on gold, because it's just random like that, I guess. Anyway, guys, one thing I did want to bring up too is I do actually have a gold gameplay of this guy, and it's on the new map Hydra. So let me know if you want to see this. Like I actually was using this guy. It was against Cerberus, and it was like pretty crazy. Like some of the things that was going on in the on the gold. I mean, like I don't know. Like the new maps, I kind of don't like too much. For gold yet, because I don't really understand them that well. I'm really starting to hate Condor, I think the name of it is, which is the Turian homeworld. Like I don't know, that map is just really kind of weird at times. Like I said, it's more than likely it's just that I haven't been playing on them a lot, and I don't really know the map that well yet. Anyway, but yeah, so that's just something I wanted to bring up. I do have a gold gameplay if anyone wanted to see it. Now, one thing I did want to bring up, and I really realized this from gold more than anything, you won't really see it in this game, but this guy is actually a beast against phantoms. He really is. He's really good against phantoms, and that is a great thing. Anytime that you could have a any type of character in the game that are actually decent against phantoms, like that's a big plus. I mean, but the main thing is this though, is that if okay, pretty much he's good against phantoms, like but the thing that makes him really good against phantoms is that like what you can do with him is because his ballistic blade is a close range shotgun like power. Phantoms will, for the majority of the time, try to get in close to you. They really will. Like they'll always try to rush up and get in close to you. So when they do that, that's your perfect time to pretty much just go to town and totally screw them up with this thing, because this power will actually stun the crap out of phantoms. It really does. It stuns the living crap out of them, and when they're stunned, you just shotgun them in the face, and then by the time that they're unstunned and a threat again, you can hit them again with ballistic blade. And the other thing that will happen too is that they'll blow up, and when they blow up, that will either almost kill them or pretty much kill them at times. So it's a really, and I'm gonna have to take cover right here, but it's a really amazing power against phantoms, just because it's a close range. They can't really dodge it very well. Think of it like you're running up to punch a guy, but with a power. Like that's literally the range that I think it's the best at, is like melee range. Just run up and just like, because it looks like he's punching him kind of with the power. Like this is something you could think about. Now right there, I just got 25 shotgun kills. And earlier, like maybe 3 minutes earlier, you see me that I already had 75 kills. So, that's just like I was talking about. It's really ridiculous. Alright, but there's one other thing that the ballistic blades will actually do to phantoms that I wanted to bring up. And right there, that was a crazy feed. Those Inferno Nades just killed everything. And that, alright, so what it is this, guys, is that one thing Inferno Nades can actually, not Inferno Nades, but ballistic blade can also do to phantoms, which I noticed on gold a lot, is that because it's a shotgun-like close-range power, when you hit them with it, what will happen? I'm gonna go ahead and also get the last thing right here. But what will happen is that you'll break their swords off, like literally. Like you might read a lot in the loading screen and stuff, you can break off a Phantom Swords, you know, eliminating its close range potential. And, you know, it does happen at times. You know, you might have sniped him off a couple times. You might have shotgunned him off a couple times. But for the most part, it's kind of rare. This power actually is, it's not guaranteed, but on the gold gameplay, it probably happened like a good 10 times where I was able to break off the sword, you know, of a Phantom. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, I've never had this many, you know, since I've had this game, I haven't broke off Phantom Swords 10 times, and in one game I was able to do it with this power. So I immediately realized that that was amazing, because if you can break off a Phantom Sword, if you really, honestly, if you just run up close, you know, point blank to them, they can't do anything. They can't melee you, they can't assassinate you. All they can do is shoot you, but they don't shoot you when they're like when you're right in their face. And when you're right in their face, you just give them another blade. And, yeah, just send that bitch to hell. Like, that's basically what you can do. Alright, now this is going to be kind of crazy, too, I think. This is going to be a nice little feed. You know, boom, ballistic blade. You know, like, anytime you get assault troopers like this, you're going to have some fun. I mean, look at that at the bottom. That's quad feed of ballistic blades. But that's just, like, that's the thing I really like about this pilot. I guess that's one reason why he's fun, is because of the kill feeds you can get. But if it's not like, if that doesn't matter to you, I mean, I don't know. You know, he still is, like I said, one of the best soldiers, and you're going to see, you know, this Phantom get, like, you know, fucked up a little bit. But, unfortunately, getting up Envy, I'm actually going to get dropped right here, but it's whatever. It's not a big deal. Alright, you know, right there, I just outright killed her because she was so weak. Like I said, the exploding part of it also will really damage Phantoms like crazy. It's just what it does. Alright. You know, like I said, anytime you get these assault troopers, you're going to have some fun. You know, and the Inferno Nades are just godly, man. They really are. Now, this power does work decent on turrets. It will actually kill in one hit if someone else can, like, drain or overload them for you. But that's really the only time that you'll actually be able to do that. Like, right there. Like, see, right there, I could have maybe killed it if I would have kept in close range to it. Alrighty, so that wave is done now. You know, next wave is going to be wave 8, so we're going to have to fight some Atlases. Like I said, it's probably Atlases or and you know, bigger enemies like Banshees and probably Primes. I haven't played the Gaff. Oh yeah, one thing I did want to bring up about this guy is that I have played the Reapers with him, and he is actually really good against the Reapers. He's a lot of fun to use against the Reapers for sure. The Gaff I haven't used him against, but I can honestly say he probably would be pretty. Actually, right there, I think I broke her sword off. But he would probably be pretty good against the Gaff when you think about it, only because they stay together. You know, they get clustered up a lot, and if you can get the, you know, exploding blades on multiple Gaff, then yeah, you'll kill them all. Like, so that's something to think about. I'm not too sure about that yet. The other downside to him is that, you know, shotguns and rushing is not a good idea against the Gaff. It really isn't. You know, so that's something you would have to keep in mind. Oh yeah, right here. Now this is actually amazing. This is actually awesome. Look, I'm getting assassinated, but because of the ballistic blade exploding, it stunned her, and you know, she let me go. So that was just absolutely amazing. You know, for the most part, you might not need piercing on a gun if you're going to use for the ballistic blade, and this is actually gonna be a crazy feat. Look at that, triple fucking ballistic blade assault trooper kill. You know, that's, I don't know, it's just awesome. Like, that's the one thing I love about, you know, this power, is that it's crazy like that. You just shoot, you're like boom, boom, all of a sudden it's just like, you know, it explodes and everything dies around it. So it's just like, whoa, that was ridiculous. Like, what the heck? I mean, like I said, man, like, he is definitely probably the best soldier. You know, that's up for debate, I guess, but it's really ridiculous how good they made all the DLC characters. They really did. They made them all so good, and you know, it's just, and they're all good in their own ways too. So they're all unique. Like, Submission Net is awesome on the Sentinel. You know, fucking the Sorry Justicar is just gonna be one of the best adapts. You know, just everything like that. Like, you know, the Gaff are just so much fun to run around and melee. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, just things like that. It's just, you know, it's awesome. Alright, so right here, it's gonna go ahead and kill some, you know, as you can see, like, look how much damage he took from the exploding blade. Like, that's the thing that, you know, you can do, and it's freaking crazy. And like I said, as long as you just treat this power like a shotgun, that's really all that matters. Now, there is one other tip, and here comes 2 more phantoms I'm gonna fuck up. You know, like, pretty much Envy, I let Envy kill the Guardians, why, boom, I got the double ballistic blade kill on the phantoms. But yeah, you know, here's one tip I can give you about this power, though, that it might be a little confusing, honestly. Like, it might be, because like, I was trying to explain it to Envy in this game, I think, and I couldn't explain it to him without him, like, I don't think he really understood what I was talking about. So I'm gonna try to explain it to you guys, and hopefully some of you guys might be able to understand. Alright, so one thing you can do, and maybe I should have actually gave you an example of this. I don't know if I'm gonna do it again. But, okay, let's say you're going to run into a room where you know there's, like, 2 or 3 enemies in there. But they're not on your screen yet. Like, kind of right there, but not, I didn't do it right there. But let's say you know that there's enemies. What you could do is actually, one thing I really like about this power, you could use the power, and because it takes so long to actually use, he's kind of like, you know, he, like, charges it up, like, and then he shoots it out. What you could do is that, so you charge up, you walk into the room, you turn the corner, and as you turn the corner, you just, like, you know, see the enemies, and you turn right to the enemies, and you just, you know, shoot it out into a cluster of the enemies. And that's actually, you know, amazing if you can do that. Right there, I just used a rocket. I knew I was going to get a kill streak, so, you know, why not go for it? Definitely wanted the experience, trying to get to level 20. I'm going to use another rocket right there, just to, you know, I really, like I said, like, Atlas with this guy is kind of like whatever. Now, Envy was really in danger of getting assassinated, and when you play with 2 people, like, that's you know, if one of you get assassinated, and when you're playing with just 2 people, that's absolutely the worst thing that can. So, you know, you definitely want to avoid that if possible. Like, it's just a terrible thing. It really is just so terrible if one person gets assassinated, because, you know, the other person has to clutch it. But, and that, you know, clutching, I don't really find clutching to be, like, challenging. You know, if you play smart and you just, you know, play right, then you really won't have a problem. But what is challenging is clutching when there's the whole wave to still do. I mean, that's ridiculous, and that's what can happen, like, easily. When you're talking about in terms of, you know, early game assassinations and just 2 people or anything like that, it's just, it sucks. But alright, so right here we just pretty much killed the targets, and that was pretty lucky. Killing the targets is hands down the best objective in this game. Like, this is the easiest, fastest, and you know, I'm getting messed up by turrets and stuff, but whatever. You know, go ahead and chuck some inferno nades into this room. Now, one thing I was wondering, though, guys, and I really don't know, and maybe because someone can answer me, do Inferno nades stack? Like, let's say I throw 2 Inferno nades on an Atlas, we'll do 400 damage every, you know, for 8 seconds, or we'll do 16, you know, whatever, 220 damage for, you know, 6 seconds, or not 6, 16 seconds, or something like that, you know. Right there, I just punched them to death, pretty much. But you know, that's what I'm wondering, is that, like, does it do any of those things, like, you know, or is it just better to throw 1 at a time, like, you know, give it the 8 seconds to wear off before you throw another one in the room? That's just something I was wondering. Alright, so I'm gonna actually kind of epically fail in this wave 11. It's just one of those things, like, I don't know, like, I didn't really, like, you know, Envy had the Mac Talk and with piercing and stuff, with armor piercing ammo, and he was able to just wreck most. I mean, the last wave is nothing but Guardians for the most part on Silver and Satorians and stuff, so, you know, like, it could take you a while to kill them, and if someone has armor piercing on a really good gun like the Mac Talk, I mean, they're gonna fucking rape the shit out of the Guardians, and it's just what it is. And then, like I said, Atlases are just an issue. Like, until you get them down to their armor, that's really the problem. I mean, if you have engineers or, you know, infiltrator, Solarians, or, you know, energy drain, whatever it takes. And right here, this is pretty stupid, but I had to try to get in close just a little bit, but, you know, I got dropped. So I'm just gonna get myself up. But yeah, like I was saying, is that, you know, if you can have people take their shields off, then yeah, you're gonna have a lot of success against the bigger enemies, but you pretty much need some help taking the shields off, because an Infernal Nade on shields, it's not good. It really isn't, guys. Like, it's actually kind of terrible. Like, against health, like, you'll just it will kill an enemy in like 2 seconds. Against shields, not so much. So that is something to keep in mind. And against armor, it's also going to kill enemies like, in 2 seconds. But yeah, just watch out for the shielded enemies. Like, but luckily, Ballistic Blade can actually take down shields and stuff. All right, so I'm gonna use another rocket to get out of there and just make a mad dash for the end, and then go ahead and pop a thermal clip and see if I can get a cross-map grenade kill. And no, I cannot. So, a pretty epic throw. So give me a like for that. But yeah, anyway, that's gonna be it, guys. Please comment, please like, please subscribe, and like always, have a nice day.